So in the last episode, you learned how to create classes inside object-oriented PHP, and in this episode, we're going to learn about something called properties and methods when it comes to PHP. So as you can see in front of me here, I have a basic index page. There's nothing really exciting going on in here, besides maybe a couple of PHP tags we're going to use for something a little bit later on. Other than that, I have a person.inc.php file, which is where we're going to create our class, and in this case, I created a class called person. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to talk about these properties and methods and what exactly they are and how we actually use them when it comes to PHP. So when it comes to using classes inside PHP, the thing that we use it for is to create something called objects, or at least that's one of the purposes behind creating classes. Another purpose is that we have a way to categorize our code inside our project. So any sort of methods or properties that I have that is regarding a person, I can put all of that inside a class called person. So we have it categorized inside one place. So what we can do with these classes here is that they function as a type of blueprint or a template. And based off this template, we can create many different copies of this class. So we can create an object that has all the properties and methods of the class that is just a separate object. To give an example here, let's go and go inside the index page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of different variables. I'm going to say we have a variable that is called name. I'm going to set this one equal to Daniel. Then I'm going to set something called AI color, just to have something. I'm going to set this one equal to blue, because my eyes are blue. And then we're going to go ahead and set an age. So we're going to say age is equal to 28. So now we have a couple of different variables, and this could be properties of a specific person. We maybe have some functions that could be regarding this person, so we could have a function that goes in and updates the age after a year has passed. So we can do a couple of different things with this person. However, if I were to go down and say, well, I have this other person called, I don't know, Timmy, and I need to copy paste the same variables again because now we need to have two people, and suddenly now we have to give this guy a number as 1, because we need to have multiple people, so we gotta somehow categorize these different names and properties. So we're gonna go ahead and name these ones 2. And now we start to make things a little bit messy, because now things are not making sense. And do bear in mind, if I want to use this code, right now, I'm using it inside my index page. We could of course put it inside a separate document, and then link to that document on all the pages. But it just kind of makes sense that we want to categorize these under a specific class, so we don't have to repeat our code again and again and again. Therefore, when it comes to creating classes, we can instead create something called an object. And this is something we can just instantiate and then use on the go whenever we need to create a new person, which is kind of handy. So now if we were to go inside our class called person, and I should probably mention that I am using Atom as a text editor, because I know I'll get questions about that in the comments, since this is not the one I used in some of the older tutorials in this course here. I did used to use Sublime Text. This is the one called Atom, A-T-O-M. Okay, so inside this document here, we have our class called person. And what we can do inside this class is we can create a bunch of different properties and a bunch of different methods, which kind of works like variables and functions, but not really, because we're talking about properties and methods that are part of a class, which will become part of an object once we actually create that object. So not really the same thing as variables and functions, but if you don't have any experience when it comes to classes, that's the closest thing I can sort of relate it to, if you have to understand it. Inside this class here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating some properties. So just going to make a comment. Properties. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a property, which could be a public, because we talked about scopes at one point. We're going to create a public property, and I'm going to call this one name. Now, as you can see, I only declared this property inside the class. I didn't actually assign anything to it. And that's because one of the functionalities that classes has when we want to create an object is that we can assign values to these properties when we create the objects. So simply declaring the properties is something that you should get used to doing when you want to have some data that will change depending on which person we're creating or which object we're creating based off this class here. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a declared property without assigning anything to it. And if it doesn't make sense now, it will make sense a little bit later. So just stick with me and then you'll actually see what I mean there. So what we can do is we can also go ahead and create a property called eye color. We can create one called age. And that's pretty much it. So now that we have these properties, let's go ahead and create a method, because that would kind of make sense that since we're talking about properties and methods, why not create a method there? So we're going to go ahead and create a method, and we're going to call this one a public function. And then we need to give it some kind of name. We could actually go ahead and set one of the values for one of these properties up here, just for fun for now. I know I said that when we create the class, we need to create the variable, or not the variables, but the values for these different properties. But just for fun for now, let's just go ahead and create some of the values for these properties using a method, just for fun. So inside this function here, I'm going to go ahead and set it to, or call it some kind of name. I'm going to call it set name, just to set some kind of name up there, parentheses and curly brackets. So in here, what I can do in order to point to one of the properties I have inside the class here is I can actually go and use a variable this keyword, which points to this specific class we're inside of right now. And I can then use this arrow, which is a dash and an arrow. Now I'm actually in doubt. Is it called a dash in English? I'm not quite sure there. You might correct me in the comments or something. But that little line that connects two words together, that's the one you got to use. So a dash greater than, and then you need to refer to the property that we have up inside our class. Now, when we do this, we don't actually write variable name, like so. We actually just write name, because variable name is already a property inside the class, and the name for this property is name, not the $sign in front of it. So we just need to refer to the name, not variable name. Then what we can do here is we can actually go ahead and set it equal to variable name. And now you might get confused, because all I'm doing here, I could set this one to, let's say, new name or something. It doesn't have to be the same variable, but what I'm essentially doing here is I'm just going to grab a new piece of data by passing it in inside the method here. So when I actually use this method inside my code, inside the index page, I'm just simply going to pass in a name inside the method parameters, and then it's going to assign itself to this property inside the class. That's essentially what we're doing here. So what I could do is I could actually also go and do this, if that makes more sense. But essentially we're just passing in the data from the method here. So what I can do now is I can go inside my index page. And in order to use this class inside our document here, we actually need to instantiate the class first. Now, when we create any sort of object from a class, we need to allocate memory for that specific object. And we do that using a keyword called new. So if I were to go in here, first of all, we need to actually create the object before we can use anything inside the class. So I'm just going to go and create a variable. I'm going to call this one person1, because we're just creating a new person here. And I'm going to set it equal to new, and then the name of the class, which is person. And now you can actually choose, at least as it is right now, whether or not you just want to close it off, or if you want to use parentheses. I recommend always using parentheses, because we will talk about something called constructors at one point, which will require that you use parentheses because we need to pass in parameters. This is previously when I talked about that when we create an object, we set the properties. This is what I'm talking about using constructors. So just make it a habit to use parentheses. But you can do it without if you want to, but make it a habit. So going below here, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this new object that just created called person1, and I'm going to access one of the methods from inside it because I need to set a name property in here. Actually, before we use the method, let's actually go and just echo out the name property from inside the class. So if I were to go ahead and say we want to echo $person1, which is the object we just created, and I want to link to the property, so we're going to point to, and we have to do this whether we link to a method or a property. We have to use this little arrow here, and I'm going to go ahead and point to a property called name. Notice that I'm not using the $sign because, like I said, we're talking about a property, not a variable. So we just need to write name inside what we have here. Now, before we can do anything inside the browser, we do need to link to our class file because right now it's just going to give us an error if we were to go inside the browser and refresh. So we need to go ahead and link to our class file. which is inside a includes folder. So I'm going to say includes / and I'm going to go ahead and say person.inc.php. So if I were to go inside the browser now and refresh, you can see we get nothing inside the browser. And that's because we haven't actually set the property inside this object we just created. So if I were to go ahead and say that we want to use our setName method right before we do this, I can actually go ahead and say, well, let's just go ahead and run the method called setName, parentheses. And then we need to pass in the name that we want to set to the property called name. So in here, I'm just going to go ahead and write Daniel. Save it, go inside my browser, refresh. And as you can see, if I were to zoom in a little bit, we now have Daniel, because Daniel is now set equal to the property called name inside our object here. Not inside the class, but inside the object that is a copy of that specific class. So with this said, let's actually go and create another object. Because like I said, a class is a template, and we can create as many objects as we want from this class. So if we were to go and say, I want to create person2 in this case here, I'm just going to go ahead and instantiate the class one more time. So we're going to say we have a class called person, parentheses. And then below here, I'm just going to go ahead and set a new name for this class. Actually, let's go ahead and echo out the property called name, because what do you think this is going to end up being? Of course, we need to change that to 2. When I echo this out inside the browser, you might think, is it going to say Daniel or is it going to say nothing? Because if I were to go ahead and do this, let's just go ahead and delete that previous echo, otherwise we will get Daniel inside the browser. If I were to go inside the browser, refresh, you can see, we're not getting anything. But that's because right now, we created a second object and we haven't set a value for the second object. Daniel is part of the first object, not the second one. So what I can do here is I can go ahead and run this method again right before we echo it out. Of course, I'm going to refer to the second object, and I'm going to go ahead and set the name to something like Timmy. Then if we were to echo out the name, you can see we get Timmy. Let's just go ahead and echo out both of them just to see both names inside the browser. So let's echo out object number 1 and object number 2, at least the name property from them. And as you can see, we get Daniel and Timmy. So now with these objects created, the property inside these objects will now be Daniel and Timmy. And we have actually set those values. So what I need to do later on, if I have to create let's say I have to use these properties for some other method I create inside this object, I don't have to set the properties again because they are saved now forever as Daniel and Timmy with these two objects here. So unless I destroy the object, they're not going to change. And that's kind of the cool thing when it comes to creating objects from classes when it comes to object-oriented PHP. So with this said, I don't think there's anything else I want to teach you for now when it comes to simply creating objects and creating properties and methods. But in the next episode, we're going to get more into these constructors and destructors that I talked about that were pretty much an essential part of creating classes when we want to fill in values inside these properties we have inside the class. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about constructors and destructors. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.